Let me know we're good. 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 Malin?
Yep, good.
All right. Hopefully, take the coach, then we'll take questions.
All right, just had our second practice of the week for Alcorn State, Saturday, 6 p.m. Looking forward to having them come in here. Coach McNair's done a fabulous job with their program, one of the top teams in the SWAC, and so we're looking at getting better though. One of the things I always tell my guys every year, biggest improvement should be between week 1 and week 2. Because you've worked out all the kinks running on the field, off the field, all those kind of things, substitution patterns, tackling, for the whole game, having officials out there for a whole game. So we're looking at making a lot of improvement this week. Any questions?
Coach, any big injuries to speak of this week?
Hope not. We didn't have any in the game. We came out of it pretty unscathed, so we're excited about that.
Is Relo out for the year?
We think so. We're going to find out here for sure here in a few days.
An ACL, is that what is expected?
Don't know for sure. Yeah.
Any adjustments you need to make, or just next guy?
No, next guy up. I mean, that's just unfortunately that's the only part of the game I don't like. Is that, it's a tough, hard-nosed, physical sport. It's different than all other sports on the planet, and sometimes, fortunately, that occurs. But that's why you only don't have 22 guys on the team. And we're gonna have somebody step up and do a great job in there. Eric Hicks last week had a start and played really well as our defensive lineman of the game. So we need to, when that happens, when a guy misses a game or two or possibly the season, we got to step in and play well.
You get hurt in practice, just a routine thing.
I'm going to wait on that.
Anything after looking at the film that kind of jumped out at you, maybe you didn't notice on the sideline?
I thought we played pretty hard. I was excited about that. Sometimes you can't see that when you're watching the game. I thought we did a good job with our offensive line, good movement off the ball, running a little bit outside zone too, and you want horizontal movement and vertical movement. I thought we did a good job of that. Tackled pretty good for a week 1 game too. But those are a few things.
What about how you used your running backs in this game? It seemed like maybe different than what we've seen in years past, that you kind of stuck with Ty J a while and then went into your other guys, as opposed to maybe just rotating guys through in a series or set downs, whatever the case may be.
Well, we're very fortunate. We got 4 or 5 really good running backs, so we're rolling those guys, playing all those guys, and but we're going to make sure Tajay gets his carries.
Speaking of Tajay, for him to have 3 touchdowns after the year he had last year, have you kind of seen his confidence just rise, especially
Yeah.
in his last couple of practices?
Our last game he had 264 yards rushing, so he played great against Memphis in the final game. That was kind of our indication of what he can be this season. So he's a dynamic back. He's a really good football player, and we just we're fortunate that we got a lot of really good backs, so that we can spread the wealth out a little bit. And they're gone are the days when guys carry it 30 times a game for the whole season. It just doesn't happen anymore, and so we want him somewhere around 10, 15 carries a game and playing 12, 13, 14 games.
Have you seen his confidence grow?
Yeah, he's always been a confident guy. The only time he was ever, a little bit down was after he had his surgery and coming back, and he did a good job then of staying after it. And I thought our training crew and doctors and rehab specialists, they all did a super job too. He followed directions, and he's 100% healthy now.
The 2 transfer guards that started, Prince Pines and Keenan, how much are they helping?
Really helping big time. Prince was our offensive lineman of the week. Hopefully you saw that from John LeGlue. He announced that for us. John LeGlue with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Keenan had a good game as well. Those guys got a lot of experience. Keenan started a little bit at Colorado, but played a bunch. And then Prince, I added up all these guys' snaps. I think he's played over 2,500 snaps at the Division I level. He started, at Baylor, some games too. So he's a really good football player.
Lawrence Keys had a great preseason and then had a really nice move for his touchdown catch, 4 catches. How much is he?
He's helped a bunch. He got hurt last spring, and we didn't get a chance to see him much. I think he only practiced 3 times for us in the spring. But he's another guy who worked at it, had a great summer, and had a great fall camp and played well Saturday.
Saw a number that was thrown out there that I guess there were maybe, 60 different transfer quarterbacks that got a chance to start week one. How important is it for not just week one, but for your entire season to have a returning at quarterback like Michael?
Well, I think it's big. As a matter of fact, we got 3 of them returning for us with Justin Ibieta and also Kai Horton. Now there's a little bit of newness for him. He had to learn new offense, but they're all smart, very smart kids, and it's great to have Michael back. I thought he played really well for game one. There's only 3 plays out of the 38 or whatever he played that he'd like to have back, and that's it. He just didn't. He really did a nice job. And there's so much to process back there at quarterback, and it's amplified when you play a ball game with, the play clock, the referees, the down and distance, signal from the sideline, the field position, the quarter, the score, all those different things. He does a good job, digesting all that information and playing intelligently.
Didn't slide on some plays. Is that you're okay with that? You got it.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job, though. He got out of bounds one time. He found a soft spot between 2 guys. He has a knack of using his off arm as a weapon when he's running the ball. He did a couple good stiff arms to get away from some potential tacklers. So I thought he did a good job. I thought it was different.
Watching film, what stands out to you about Alcorn?
They got big guys. They're big up front, offensive line, defensive line. Play really, really hard. Big backs. Got one back who had 199 yards against Stephen F. Austin last week. Their quarterback has got some experience. He played at Louisiana Tech, started a few games for them. So just a good overall team. They'd love to have that game back. Stephen F. scored at the very end. They're up 24-10, I think, with 7 or 8 minutes to go in the game, and came back and actually beat Alcorn. So I'm sure they'll be ready to go Saturday.
It's nice to have film to watch a bit of play.
Yes, it is. It is. That's the different part. And we had film from last year because their staff is, really all the same guys from last year. But it is good to have tape to watch. But they got it on us too.
How much of the focus this week has been continuing the momentum from week one and continuing just to kind of build and set the tone for the season?
It's really just getting better, just improving, getting better. And like I said initially, you want to see that biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2. You've worked out the kinks. That's what we're really excited about.
What's the message to the guys after such a big win and going into this week?
Well, we just want to improve, and just get better and better and better throughout the season. And we played well for a lot of the game last Saturday. There's a lot of room for improvement. Penalties in the kicking game, we got to eliminate those. We had 3 pre-snap penalties with the offense. One good thing defensively, we had 0 penalties. We didn't fit properly, especially in that 18-play drive. Last Saturday with the defense, they ran a couple plays that were a little bit different when we weren't expecting them to run. So, yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement.
Defense shut out UMass in the last half. How do you want them to kind of carry that performance over into this week?
Well, being assignment sound. I think if we can be assignment sound, we're going to have a really good defense, but that's having guys in gaps. And offenses are so multiple now. They run so many different things. I mean, it used to be, I could kind of call the plays of the other team because they call 30-31. What was that, Steve? I think it was ISO, and then 32-33, and was and all the way up to 30. You had just all the same plays, and there's one going to the right, one going to the left. And now there's a million different plays, a million different formations, all sorts of motions, shifts. The back's on this side, he ticks over to this side, he starts the pistol, he starts out there, and you've got an empty formation. So you just got to do a great job of lining up correctly, but you can't be in the same thing every time. So you got to be able to have different coverages and blitzes, and so that it's a chess match with them now, and they're not sure what you're doing exactly. If you line up the same way every time, you better be about twice as good as your opponent, or you're going to get whipped. So that's the part. It's just getting where we align correctly, be able to do a lot of things, and then, execute it when the ball is snapped. Everybody good? Thank you all. Thanks for coming.